The Whispers Under Wicker House. In the sweltering heart of Louisiana, where the cypress trees strangle the sky and Spanish moss hangs like forgotten prayers, the Wicker House stood as a crooked monument to grief. Its white paint had long since blistered off, revealing gray, splintered bones beneath. Locals said the house was cursed. They said it had teeth. They said it whispered in the dark. No one lived there anymore, not since the Wicker family died inside it, one by one, like snuffed candles. But the house remained, squatting at the end of an overgrown dirt road, watching. And it was waiting. Clara Belle Mayhew had never believed in ghost stories, not until the inheritance letter came. She was 29, city-born, with a quiet job in New Orleans, and a tendency to ignore anything that couldn't be explained with reason. When her great-aunt Lillian passed, an old woman she barely remembered, Clara found herself the sole heir to the Wicker estate. The letter was crisp, signed by a thin-lipped attorney with a warning tucked neatly between legal lines. Property to be claimed in person. Access is not advised after sundown. Clara scoffed. 3 days later, she was driving past rusted signs and wilting cane fields, her little Honda coughing in the heat. By the time she saw the house, the sun had dipped below the tree line, bleeding orange through the swamp air. The Wicker house loomed ahead, half swallowed by kudzu vines and crawling ivy. The shutters flapped even though the wind was still. She parked, stepped out, and the earth under her feet felt soft. Too soft, like wet cotton. As she approached the porch, something cracked beneath her shoe. A bird skull, brittle and bleached, dozens of them littered the steps. She hesitated. Then the front door creaked open, all by itself. Inside, the air was stale, but not empty. It smelled like rotted jasmine and mildew, with something sour threaded beneath it, like vinegar left too long in sunlight. "Hello," she called, her voice swallowed by thick silence. She explored cautiously, flashlight in hand. The wallpaper curled like burned skin. The furniture remained, a dusty velvet couch, an ornate mirror with black spots spreading like decay. In the hallway, portraits of the Wicker family hung crooked, stern men, weeping women, children with vacant eyes. They watched her pass with unsettling familiarity. Clara found the study upstairs just as the will had described. A stack of legal papers sat on the desk, neatly arranged beneath a cracked paperweight. She sat, pen in hand, ready to sign. That's when she heard it. A low murmur, soft, slithering, just under the floorboards. She froze. More whispers joined it, crawling up through the wood like roots from a buried tree. They were speaking her name. Clara. Clara Belle. She backed away from the desk. The floor creaked. The walls groaned. Something was moving beneath the house. That night she didn't leave. Maybe it was morbid curiosity. Maybe it was the humidity making her head swim. But she set up a makeshift bed in the upstairs bedroom, bolting the door out of habit. The room was heavy with lace curtains and cracked crucifixes. An old music box sat on the vanity. She wound it out of impulse. It played a slow, broken waltz. Then it began playing again, on its own, every hour. Clara couldn't sleep. She kept hearing the whispers, in the walls, under the bed, inside her head. By dawn, she was pale and shaking. The ground outside looked bruised as if something had stirred just beneath the soil. In town, the locals gave her looks, pitiful and afraid. At the diner, the waitress asked where she was staying. Wicker house, Clara said. The entire room fell silent. The cook dropped a plate. Someone muttered, "God help her." An old man in the corner leaned forward. "You hear 'em yet?" he asked. "The ones under the floor." Clara stared. "They talk at night," he said. "Ain't the dead, neither. House ain't haunted. It's hungry." She laughed. No one else did. The waitress whispered as she placed Clara's coffee down. "They say something's buried beneath it. Not bodies, roots, old roots, not of this world." Clara left half her meal untouched. Back at the house, she opened the cellar door. It groaned like something in pain. The stairs led into darkness so thick it felt like oil. She descended with a lantern, the walls sweating beside her. The smell of rot hit harder here. The floor was packed earth, except it wasn't. She knelt and brushed it with her hand. Not dirt, hair. Tangled gray-black hair matted into the soil, stretching from wall to wall like a spider's web. She gasped and stumbled back. The whispers erupted again, louder now, urgent. The hair began to move, rising like seaweed in water. She fled, slammed the cellar shut, and nailed it closed with trembling fingers. Clara tried to leave that evening. She packed her bag, grabbed her keys. But the car wouldn't start. She called for a tow. No signal, no bars, just static. The porch steps snapped behind her. She turned, but no one was there. Only the bird skulls, now arranged in a perfect circle. Inside, the mirror in the hall had cracked again, deeper this time. And her reflection smiled when she didn't. That night, the house came alive. The doors locked themselves. The walls pulsed. The air throbbed with low, guttural hums. Clara huddled in the upstairs bedroom, the crucifixes spinning upside down, the music box screaming its tune in reverse. Then, footsteps, slow, dragging, up the stairs. She held her breath. A shadow passed beneath the door. Not feet, roots, hair. Tendrils of something ancient, and a voice low and full of earth and centuries. "She fed us once. You must feed us again." The door handle rattled. Clara screamed. She woke on the floor, mourning. But outside, the world looked wrong. The trees leaned in. The sky was yellowed, sickly. She fled into the yard and saw it. A fresh mound of earth by the house's side, next to the others, 4 of them. She hadn't noticed them before, each marked with a wooden stake. On each stake, a name. All Wickers, except the last. It read, Clara Belle Mayhew. She ran. They found her 2 weeks later, barefoot and babbling, miles away in the swamp. She wouldn't speak of what happened, only muttered about hair in the floor, roots with mouths, and walls that whisper. The Wicker house was declared condemned, but no one touched it. Even the insects avoided it. Even the moss refused to grow too close. Epilogue. Late one summer night, a drifter passing through stopped at the Wicker property, unaware. He walked toward the house. Inside, the floorboards shifted. The cellar door unlatched with a sigh, and something deep beneath the house smiled.